Yeah, and John, though, there are some striking similarities with New Jersey, right? I mean, you have the Stanford, Greenwich, hedge fund community in Connecticut, and then everybody else. And then in New Jersey, you have Bergen County, which is home to Alpine, where the average home price is $10 million. It's home to the rap and comedy and entertainment community. It's kind of Beverly Hills of the East. And then you have Newark and Camden and other places where incomes are greatly depressed. Before we get to that part, though, given that as background, why did you develop the ALICE report, particularly in New Jersey?
People have a difficult time understanding why we have a United Way and why there are needs there. And as we were moving from an organization that was for years and years focused on a safety net, we began to ask questions about what can you do long term to prevent people from falling into the safety net. Some of the data that was coming across my desk, for example, was more than half of the seniors spending more than half of their income on housing. Well, how do they get by? And 13,000 single parents living on less than $40,000 a year in a community where the median income is $95,000 a year and the median price of a home was $500,000. So we said we need a deeper look. And so we started out to build an understanding for United Way about our constituent base and how we might serve them better. The response was so great there, we decided to expand to the whole state. And what we found is what we saw in Morris County was the same in the whole state. And when you look at our geomap of where ALICE is, it's clear that like here in Connecticut, you have pockets of wealth and you have pockets of poverty, and yet we're all affected by those pockets of poverty. And we needed to address that in a way that brought it to light. The report that Scott did, and Scott and his team, brings out a lot of important data. What we found, though, was people weren't really understanding this. So we wanted to put a face on this population. And I think that was the big change here. We started talking about ALICE, a person. When we used to go to donors and say, give us some support for the folks who are homeless, the people who are really down and out, we would get a check and people would say, well, we'll go take care of those folks. We think it's important. But now we go and we say, these are your kids graduating from college. These are your parents in the nursing home. These are the folks who are taking care of your parents in the nursing home. These are the folks who are taking care of your kids in childcare, and the people who take care of your car and take care of you at the counter at Walmart and what have you. Now we get a different response. People understand it's much closer, and people have a feeling that this is part of our society. This is the fabric of our society we're talking about. And so the conversation began to shift from some data and some demographics to help us build our strategy to a conversation, to a dialogue that people understood was important to all of us.